All right, here we're DNA, Daniel and
Aiden.
and we're here to talk about biology and why you should join the class and why the class is so amazing and how we got through the year and basically small tidbits and how to get you through the year. Small tiny things, We're gonna start off with actually talking about why we joined the class in the beginning, what motivated us to join the class, and what was our motivation. And we're gonna start off here with Aiden.
Alright, so I took it because of genetic engineering and also because of science fiction movies. Really, more science fiction. Because you could run super fast and be super strong, and things of that sort. Through genetic engineering in the future, maybe.
Yeah,
if we,
hopefully.
And that was basically it, yeah. Because science fiction, you could see people shoot lasers out their eyes and X-ray vision. And honestly, through genetic engineering, we may be able to get there if we really push ourselves hard in AP biology.
Mine is more of like a college preparation thing. I wanted to have a nice foundation for when I got into college because I was 100% sure that I wanted to major in biology. I wanted to, get that foundation going. And another reason was, if you didn't know this, if you pass the AP test, you get that cash money, $100, free money, baby. And, that's a big plus in your life, a big plus, man. It's just an added bonus, I guess you could say, just for, doing what you're supposed to do as a student. Another one would be to challenge myself. I like to really, challenge myself in school wise. I like
challenges.
It makes you feel like a better person, like you actually accomplished something. And basically, if you challenge yourself now and take classes that students wouldn't normally take, and brace yourself for colleges look into that, and it might get you accepted into these colleges, which is it's actually pretty important if you really think about it. We're actually going to move on to how the class really is. I want to tell you a really quick overview about everything in the biological world, I guess you could say. I know these topics may sound a little, out of the blue. Yeah, intimidating. That's the perfect word, intimidating. Yeah. But Ms. Deschamps will teach you everything. She's a really good teacher. We're going to start off with just, the main topics, the big ones, which are biochemistry, cells, energy and metabolism, the cell cycle, heredity, molecular genetics, regulation, evolution, and ecology. Those are the big ones, the big blocks of the biological universe, basically. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start off by basically explaining a quick overview of everything. I'm going to start off with biochemistry, which is the first one I said. It's basically the study of biology and chemistry together. It's it's a happy little package, and that's what actually I'm going to major in college. So it actually interested me. It has to do with pHs, and if you don't know what pHs is, it's basically something being too acidic or too basic, and all that stuff.
Acidic 0, more to 0, and
base is higher,
to 14, and neutral 7. Yeah, you'll learn that.
Organic molecules. Everybody knows the organic molecules. I'm pretty sure everyone learns them in 7th grade, which is carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids.
DNA.
You also learn about water properties, adhesion,
cohesion,
and surface tension,
and specific water heat.
Water temperature, and all that goody two-shoes stuff, man, about water. It keeps us alive, so it keeps it going, man.
Yeah.
And also enzymes. Enzymes rule the world. Let's be real. And now my boy Aiden here is gonna move on to the next topic.
So there's in biology we're gonna talk a lot about cells. There's prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, and then you're also going to talk about the cell organelles within the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. And eukaryotic is more complex, and then prokaryotic is really simple. Also, they both have cell membranes, and they also send messages to each other.
Yeah.
And
cell signaling. Actually.
Cell signaling, yes. And also, there's energy and metabolism. That's another topic that you're going to talk about throughout the year. And it's the way in which cells produce energy. Cells produce energy through cellular respiration and photosynthesis.
Yeah, photosynthesis.
And anaerobic fermentation, that's where...
basically, it's where you don't use oxygen to make energy. Because if you didn't know, you make energy off of cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Like, big shocker, you know, we breathe and that's how we get our energy. But sometimes, you know, there's in some dire cases where like you don't have oxygen, there's anaerobic fermentation where you basically don't use oxygen. You don't use oxygen to breathe, which is, you know, it's kind of like trippy, but you know, it'll make sense. You'll get it.
It makes sense. Fermentation, like alcohol, you don't use oxygen.
Yeah.
All right, and
I'm gonna move on to the cell cycle. This one was kind of hard for me. Basically, it's an overview about the cell cycle and Mendel's laws. Mendel is the father of genetics, actually. You talk about non-Mendelian genetics, which is what it is. Sounds like it's non-Mendelian. It's things that we figured out after Mendelian. His great mind developed all the things about genetics. Yeah, I know, it's insane how insane the guy was. We're going to talk also about translation and transcription. Those are one of my favorite topics. Protein synthesis. It's I like it a lot because it's really fun to learn about.
Spliceosome.
Yeah, and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
I like. You sound like totally cool when you're saying all these words and like you're like, oh, whoa, those are some big words, but really, like, it's actually really simple.
It's easy.
Yeah, and now my man here is gonna move on to molecular genetics.
Yeah.
Now, this is what you were talking about in the beginning too, isn't it? The
genetic engineering.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's the DNA structure, which is double helix.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a staircase, a
spiral staircase.
a spiral staircase. Also, there's DNA replication. There's RNA replication. No. It's transcription. There's mRNA editing. There's translation and mutations and just amazing things within that topic of molecular genetics.
You should explain to them how that ties into, like, you know, your work.
Oh, okay. Well, DNA from another organism is put within a cell, and that cell's DNA is removed, and that other DNA from that other organism is placed inside,
and then replicated,
and then it's replicated, and
hopefully you can get the gene that codes for, or you can get the code on the codes for the gene, and then you could actually like possess the, like, for example, gills. I mean, that's kind of an exaggeration, but like you get a fish's genetic
cool
code.
Stuff.
Yeah, you know, just stuff like that.
Sometimes it comes out as a fail. I mean, most of the time it comes out as
90,
a failure.
like really high up there, basically.
Yeah.
You just like you have to understand it a lot. We're gonna move on to regulation, which is just basically like cell-to-cell signaling and communications and stuff like that. It's more of like, you know, immunity, viruses, T cells, all that stuff. You know, like basically cell signaling. Really, it's kind of like an interesting topic. That Mr. Champ had a chancla story about how she like, if your mom throws a chancla at you, you better respond, or else, you know, you're gonna get yelled at, and that's basically cell signaling, and that's how I remembered it. My boy here is gonna talk about evolution.
Evolution, yes. There's natural selection. There's Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, where there's perfect circumstances, tongue twister.
Yeah.
That there won't be any genetic crosses. All the genes will stay the same. Everything will stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also speciation, and we'll also talk about the origin of life. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, get to see where it all started, man.
Yeah. And then also you'll talk about phylogenetic trees. There's something in the AP test that was super easy about phylogenetic trees. So
we're allowed to talk about it now, so
if you learn it, you'll
it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's super easy. It was amazing.
We're gonna like finish off about ecology. I mean, it's the easiest one.
Lots of the tests that we took this year, lots of it was ecology.
Yeah, it's actually like, we didn't think it would be about it, but actually it was, and it was actually really easy. And a little anagram I like to remember is King Philip came over for great spaghetti, which is kingdom. Phylum. Came over. Wait, King Philip came. Class. Order. Family. Genus. Species. There you go. Easy. Remember it all. It's not the hardest thing to remember. Now we're gonna talk about you know, how like to survive AP biology. You know,
genus, Homo, species, sapiens.
Yeah.
You see?
See, even he got it.
I even got it.
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Like class rank 700 or something, and I still got it.
Now we're gonna talk about how to survive the class. Basically, you just want to have a study guide ready at all times. Just really manage your time well.
Don't procrastinate.
Yeah, don't do that. We did it. It honestly hurt us a lot. Towards the end of the year is when we actually got serious and started studying, and that's when we realized, hey, studying actually helps. What the heck? And we actually ended up doing really well on the AP Biology test.
I crammed like the last 3-4 days, and that was a great cram, but it was a terrible cram. And that cram saved my life. I think I got a 3 with that cram, a 3 or a 4 with that cram on the AP test.
I did not do that. I actually studied a long time before that.
He studied. He was like on the ball throughout the year.
Yeah.
So
no, not throughout the year. In the beginning, I was.
Oh yeah. Great.
Well, I mean, everyone has those days,
He did good overall.
Yeah.
I just crammed. I think I got a 3 or 4 maybe.
But our point: don't cram, don't procrastinate, do your work.
Don't be me.
Yeah. That's really all we have to say about AP biology. Is there anything else you'd like to tell them? Oh, the mitochondria
is the powerhouse of the cell.
Always remember that.
Yeah.
Tell Miss Deschamps that every single time. And, get through the year, man. We hope you have a really good time in experiencing your AP Biology class. And, we hope y'all have as much fun as we did this year. Signing out, DNA.
All right, DNA.